All that they've loved, all that they've fought for, all that they've stood for will now be put to the test. Star Trek III, The Search for Spock.
The word, sir? The word is no. I am therefore going anyway.
You do this, you'll never sit in the captain's chair again.
Engage auto systems. Clear all moorings.
Cleared, sir.
1/4 impulse power.
Someone is stealing the Enterprise.
Warp speed.
Klingon bird appraiser. She's arming torpedoes.
Shields up.
The shield's non-responsive.
We're a sitting duck.
Join us on this, the final voyage of the Starship Enterprise. Star Trek III, The Search for Spock. The adventure continues.
Greetings, salutations. Welcome to the 40th anniversary celebration of Star Trek III, The Search for Spock, here on Movie Watchalong, presented by And I Quote Channel. I am your host, Ryan of And I Quote Channel, and I am not alone into this journey of discovery and, new civilizations, new all kinds of stuff. So please welcome my good friend. He may be the Dutch Star Wars guy, but tonight it's not about the War in the Stars. No. It's about the Trek in the Stars. Please welcome Case is back. Hello, Case. How are you, good sir?
Live long and prosper, all that good stuff. Yes, I'm usually the Dutch Star Wars guy, but I'm also a bit of a Trek fan. Maybe not as much as Star Wars, but I do like these movies. A lot of them, at least a lot. I've seen a lot of the TV shows, and I'm actually looking forward to watching this movie with you guys.
Oh, yes, sir. This is going to be a lot of fun. And also, join us. This is his first time to the movie watch-along stage, as it were. He joined us last week for the craziness that ensued, known as the season premiere of The Meaning of Fandom, talking about this particular fandom. And please welcome him back, the Trek expert, whatever. Chris Ingle is here. Hello, Chris. Welcome back, good sir. How are you?
My God bones, what have I done?
You've joined us for this epic adventure. That's what you've done. So it's good to see you both, Chris and Case. Now, before we hit the magical button known as play and start watching this movie and start sharing our thoughts about Star Trek III, The Search for Spock, I'm going to give you the chance to get to know our panelists just a little bit better. So feel free to queue up your copy on physical media or streaming service to the 00 or the 2-second mark, however you want to go about it within the film. Before we hit the magical button known as play, going to turn things over to Case. Case, what was it like for you seeing this movie for the first time, whenever that was?
I will be honest, the first introduction I had to this movie was through the Nostalgia Critics review, because I decided to binge the entire Star Trek series Nostalgia Critic reviews, and this was one of them. And he was saying, well, it's the best of the odd-numbered Star Trek movies, but it still has some issues. So eventually I decided to watch all the Star Trek movies, all the old ones as well. And yeah, it's easily the best of the odd-numbered Star Trek movies. It has some issues. We're going to go over that right now. Overall, I like it. I like it enough. I think there is enough good in this one to make it not a bad one, but we'll get to the stuff that's not so good. Some of the stuff that's honestly just laughably bad, but that's funny, We'll at least be entertained.
Oh, yeah, we're going to be entertained for sure. Turn things over to Chris Ingle, the newest member to the movie Watch-Along Squad, as it were. Chris, what was it like for you seeing this movie for the first time, whenever that may be?
It was 1993. It was a marathon, a week-long marathon on the USA Network. They were showing all of them, and I had never seen them. I mean, I've watched a lot of TNG, but at that point, my exposure to original series was limited, only known by its legacy more than anything else, with the occasional appearance of Scotty and Spock. But I remember watching these and getting to watch them in order and thinking, gosh, number 1 is long. Gosh, number 2 is cool. And then I got to 3, and watching the Enterprise blow up was like, spoilers for a 40-year-old movie. But I love it, but I have more issues with it than I love it. But I don't hate it. That sounds complicated, But this one to me is a weird one. It's a very weird film. But however, the main part of this film, the heist, it's so much fun. Oh, it's fun to watch that heist, and we get to do it again today. I thought that, all those years ago in 1993, over 31 years ago, and I still think that today.
Fair enough. So you like it, you don't like it. Some things you like, something. This is complicated. We'll get into it later. So for me, thank you for sharing that with us, Professor Chris. So for me, I bought the 10-movie Blu-ray set that contains the 6 movies containing the original series crew and the 4 movies that take place within the Next Generation universe. So I went back and I watched the movies. I couldn't watch the first one because long time ago, I watched like the first 20 minutes and the ship's just going, and I'm like, this is boring to me. Get away from me. So I watched Wrath of Khan. I liked it. Didn't love it. And then I watched Star Trek 3 Search for Spock, and I'm thinking, oh, this movie's really good. This is a strong entry at this point anyway, within the franchise that I'm watching, because I'm going through, 1 to 10. So I'm like, this is really good. There's some good character moments, some decent visual effects, and you get Doc Brown as a Klingon, also known as the great Christopher Lloyd is in this. Before he was in, during the time he was in Clue, and then before he was in Back to the Future. So like this guy, Christopher Lloyd's on a freaking roll right now, man. Like he's just killing it, and every film that he's in. This is even before he plays Judge Doom in Who Framed Roger Rabbit, which is insanity. So. Good film. I liked it. Some good action sequences. The quest turns personal when it comes to Kirk's son. Talk more about that later. So good stuff. I liked it all around. First time I saw this movie was probably 2 years ago, I want to say. 2 years ago, maybe 3 years ago. In and around the time when we were on lockdown, during the unfortunate situation known as the pandemic. So good times. Good times had by all. So without any further ado, queue up your copies, ladies and gentlemen, to the 002 second mark, however you want to go about it. Streaming service, physical media, I should say. Watch the movie along with us. Share your favorite memories about this in the comments below. Do not forget to like and share this with everyone you know. And if you're joining us live or what is known as a replay, we thank you for being here. So without any further ado, let's live long and prosper in 3, 2, 1, hit play. Here we go. With the old school Paramount logo here.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And just in case that people didn't watch Wrath of Khan, no worries. Here's the ending again.
It's true.
It's kind of
I was going to say, it's in the same aspect ratio. I saw it on television.
Oh, that's right, because it's in a small box. It's like a small screen, ladies and gentlemen. That's what he meant.
Ingo is aging himself a little bit here.
A little bit, but Chris, you don't look a day over 25, man.
That's true.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. The one I've always been, always shall be, your friend.
It's like, why all of a sudden is he Sean Connery? What's going on here?
It's Nimoy for you, I suppose.
I don't know. I know it's not my best impression of Leonard. I apologize.
Just kind of gravelly too when he does it. Ship, saved.
Certainly, it is
Ship
safe.
Out of danger.
Let's see. Brian Thomas Donahue of the Big Sci-Fi Podcast, which you can find on your local podcasting platforms. He says the music in this film is on point, according to Brian.
I mean, James Horner.
Is it James Horner? I thought it was Jerry Goldsmith.
No, this is James Horner again. After he did 2 and 3.
Oh, okay, cool. One of the best that ever lived, James Horner. Let's give it up for him.
It's honestly. It's difficult to pick a favorite Star Trek composer because I think all of them, or most of them at least, did a really good job. Like Jerry Goldsmith, of course, created the original or the Next Generation theme, as most people will know it. But that was the theme that he created for the motion picture, which is not a good movie, but it has an amazing score. And then they brought in James Horner for Wrath of Khan in this one, and again, excellent. Score, and I even think Giacchino for the new movies did a great job with his
score. Yeah, Giacchino, yeah, absolutely.
I love too that the tail end of that in the beginning of this film, the adherence to naval traditions here in the United States. Even today, if someone dies while at sea aboard a ship, especially a carrier or something like that, that still happens. You launch, it's a burial at sea. In this case, burial in space.
Right.
But it's in that same naval tradition. I love the reverence that goes with that. There was a nice detail they chose to do that.
Oh, that's cool. That's respectable, of course. All good things.
And think about it. What if Bones had been like, listen, Starfleet Protocol, we got to do an autopsy on him. This whole movie never would have happened.
Star Trek 3, The Search for Spock.
I mean, all Spock had to say was remember, and Bones has the biggest issue with his identity in this movie.
Yeah, he's having a bit of trouble in this movie. Identity crisis. Like, am I Bones McCoy or am I Spock in this? What am I doing?
Yeah.
Who
and
am
you
I?
gotta give it to DeForest Kelly for being able to channel those little Spockisms and
There's one moment at one point where he imitates Spock and everyone just looks at him and he's like, "Did I do okay?" We'll get there.
We will. Right now, we're in the clouds with opening credit sequences, as it were.
Credits.
Nichelle Nichols.
Oh, right. Sarah appears in this one.
Yep.
Oh, and Mark Leonard played a different character. I think he was a Klingon in Motion Picture.
No
one
kidding.
is one of the Klingons in the beginning, yeah.
Oh, no kidding. I did not know that. Which Dame Judith?
Oh, yeah, the not so good Savick. that was honest, like I'm not sure if everyone agrees with me, but I think Kirstie Alley is better Savick between the two.
I mean, Robin Curtis, she's fine with what she was given. She wasn't given much to do, though.
No.
Well, I think it was 4 that there was a reason.
Turner.
It was 4. I was gonna say by 4 she was pregnant.
Oh.
Yeah.
Which is why, we don't see much more of her after that. But they were gonna bring the character back for 6. But chose not to choose an ally. And they wanted Kirstie Alley back. Alley was busy with Cheers, couldn't do it.
Oh.
So they decided to just change the character entirely and make Valeris.
And that works.
It really works.
Who was pregnant in 4? Kirstie or Robin Curtis?
Robin Curtis, yeah.
Robin Curtis was, okay.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, she's only in the opening scene, and it's like, bye, Savick.
And so they considered writing her in and saying that her pregnancy was Spock's baby.
Ooh.
Luckily, I'm kind of happy they didn't go that way.
Oh.
Yeah.
I would have been okay with it personally, but some things may not work for the story.
The thing is, according to canon, Spock was married.
He never actually married her.
No?
He was supposed to, but he never actually did.
That's interesting. By the way, Brian from the Big Sci-Fi Podcast says, we had Robin Curtis herself on our podcast. She is fantastic. For more of the reason for the switch between the two actresses, check it out. Ooh. Thanks. All right. I definitely got to check out the Big Sci-Fi Podcast episode with Robin Curtis. Definitely got to check that out. It's on your podcasting platforms, ladies and gentlemen. It's on Spotify, Google, Apple Podcasts. Look it up. Great podcast, Big Sci-Fi Podcast, hosted by Brian and Adina. And I'm forgetting the other 2 members of your crew there, Brian. I'm so sorry because I've had you and Adina on so many times over the course of the last year or 2 I've had you guys on? Yeah. But yeah, great podcast. Look it up. Have you heard of it, Chris? The Big Sci-Fi Podcast? You heard of them?
No.
No, okay. Well, might want to add that to your to-do list.
By the way, you'll notice her hair changed styles real fast between movies.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
You talking about?
Is it me or does the bridge look different?
They always were different, yeah. There's no consistency between any of the movies.
It looks different than the last movie, and it's supposed to be right after the last movie. The miracle worker, Scotty.
You don't have 8 weeks, sir, so I do it in 2.
The miracle worker.
How else can I keep my reputation as a medical worker? He's good. I like Montgomery Scott. I like the guy. I like the actor who's playing him, too.
James doing.
Fun fact, this is Jackie Childs from Seinfeld right here. The actor.
That's Jackie Childs.
Yeah, it's Jackie Childs, right? A very young Jackie Childs. Mm-hmm. True story. It's Phil Morris, ladies and gentlemen. That's Phil Morris. I've actually had the chance to interview him not too long ago for Otherworldly Fundraising. You can find that on our YouTube channel. It's listed under, and I quote, collaborations. So feel free to look that up. That was a great interview I did with Phil Morris. Oh my gosh. That guy is such a hardcore nerd. It's insanity. He has this huge comic book collection, Chris. Mm-hmm. It's awesome. It's great. You got to check it out, man.
The Klingons.
This is where the movie already starts to get a little wonky for me.
Really?
Yeah.
At the 8-minute mark? Jeez, man. You're quick to judge, aren't you?
When you've watched this as long as I have, you go, wait a second. No, all it has to do is Krug's motivation. I used to think that Krug was a kind of an opportunistic Klingon as depicted in the original series.
Mm-hmm.
But the things he does is things that would start to be developed in TNG. Granted, this is before TNG. The development had already begun.
TNG was already was about to release right after this. I mean, a couple of years, but they were definitely busy with it.
TNG aired in '87, so this is 3 years prior to that.
Yeah. But the development, because a lot of what we got for TNG was left over from the Series 2 ideas.
Oh, okay.
So a lot of that had already been kind of working out.
By the way, is this the first time we see the Klingons like with all of this, or do we already?
No, that was Star Trek 1.
Oh, motion picture.
Yeah, motion picture.
The movie that nobody saw.
I've seen that, and what were they think? They just wanted to do they just wanted to do 2001: A Space Odyssey.
So here's the kicker: at this point, the Klingon language is this. This is not what later is the official Klingon language. This is just gibberish.
Wow! Oh, it's just gibberish.
Bourne is one of 4 people who worked on creating formally the Klingon language with syntax and grammar.
Wow!
They built that. But that didn't come till later.
Wow. Well, good for Chris Lloyd. He makes it look easy, right? Speaking gibberish. Here we are introduced to a crew played by the wonderful Christopher Lloyd, one of the best actors of all time.
Is how exactly did they find out about Genesis in the first place if Starfleet was keeping it hush hush?
That's a good question. I didn't even think of that.
Yeah, Genesis was supposed to be a massive.
Like you noticed in this one, everyone knows about Genesis. Even that Genesis guy. Let us know.
Genesis?
Ichiba.
Oh, I love that.
Ichiba.
Beautiful.
By the way, if I have a tendency to quote the Nostalgia Critics review, just ignore me.
The first Targ we ever saw too.
That is a creepy beast he's got for a pet.
Honestly, he looks like the Thing a little bit.
Yeah. John Carpenter's The Thing. Yeah,
exactly.
Which is one of the best horror movies ever made. Is John Carpenter's The Thing?
It truly is. Yeah.
Yeah, that movie's a freaking masterpiece. Which reminds me, I have to go back and rewatch that too because it's been so long.
Starbase 1. So this thing right here was later repurposed in Picard. Season 3 as the Fleet Museum.
Oh.
Wait, does that also appear in Lower Decks?
Yes. Yeah.
Because I remember seeing it in Lower Decks. Like I haven't seen Picard, but I've seen Lower Decks.
I've heard great things about Lower Decks too.
Oh, Lower Decks is so much fun.
Yeah.
It's essentially like a very self-aware version of Star Trek.
I see.
In a sense, I would say it's Star Trek meets Rick and Morty because it's from the same.
It was done by a lot of the creators of Rick and Morty.
Of Rick and Morty. Okay, gotcha.
So that's the thing. Like it has the same meta type of comedy, and it's very gory, very bloody, very gory.
I take it a lot of red shirts die in this.
Not as many as you think.
Not as many red shirts. No,
not as many as we think. But yeah,
just wait until you get to Moopsie. It's great.
So that is the biggest joke in Star Trek history, the idea of the red shirts. somebody a statistician broke it down.
Yeah.
More blue shirts died than red or yellow.
Really?
All right.
Yeah.
Wow.
So they target the medical staff.
Yeah, I guess they. Yeah, target the medical staff that wears blue shirt. Wow, that's unfortunate because blue is my favorite color. I guess I won't be. I guess I won't be wearing a blue shirt the next time I'm on the Enterprise.
There's Grace Lee Whitney making an appearance.
Mm-hmm.
All of 2 seconds of screen time or so.
few seconds.
So Grace Lee Whitney has the record in Star Trek of going from the lowest rank possible to the highest we've ever seen in a transition. She starts out as a yeoman, which is almost nothing. And then by Star Trek 6, she's a commander.
Jeez.
But is that lower than an ensign?
Ensign is an officer. She was enlisted. But she's not like a private or something like that. No, it's even lower. Yeoman is like nothing, really.
Huh. That's interesting to me. That's what else is interesting? The fact that we are about 13 minutes and about 13 minutes 50 seconds into this for me anyway.
I have 14 minutes. Yeah.
14. All right. Like I said, my thing's running ads, so I'm a few seconds behind. But in and around the 14-minute mark, feel free to queue up your copy on physical media or streaming service. If you're just joining us, this is in fact the Star Trek 3, The Search for Spock's 40th Anniversary Watch Along.
Wait a moment. Are you watching it on YouTube?
Yes, I am.
See, that's the issue. Because
we're
not
Paramount.
Well, sorry. But
that's one of the other things too. One of the goofiest costume choices ever in Star Trek are those helmet heads for security.
Yeah, what were those?
The armor, the hockey pads. I was like, is this a Dark Knight ripoff? I don't wear hockey pads.
I'm not wearing hockey pads. But don't forget to like and share this with all of your closest friends. And if you're watching this live or on a replay, thank you so much for being with us.
So this is something that's really cool. I thought it was synthesized to make him sound more like it. No, he worked at this to sound like Nimoy.
Really?
Nice.
Jim, help me.
Look at that look, though.
You left me on Genesis. Why did you do that?
Oh, by the way, Ryan, I assume that we're not doing Star Trek V, The Final Frontier this year?
Wait a minute, that's a movie? I don't remember there being a fifth one.
It turns 35.
Really? I don't remember there being a fifth Star Trek film.
But we have to watch it.
Okay, but there is a sixth one, and it's great.
No, that one I'm all right with, but I didn't remember a fifth one.
We have to watch 5 because there's some great stuff in there, but possibly the most important character. You know who it is, Case? Vanessa.
Yeah, well, you couldn't pay me enough. You couldn't pay me enough money to sit through.
But by the way, Vanessa is yet again a reference to the Nostalgia Critic review. It's the review for Star Trek V.
That movie was
three-titted cat lady. Yeah, Vanessa.
Yeah, Star Trek V was a horrible day at the office for Hollywood.
You know what? But no, there are. I'm being genuine. There are really good things in Star Trek V. It's just mixed by a lot.
It's so bad. It's so bad.
I disagree.
What does God want with a starship?
That was crap. That was crap. But the stuff that Cybok can do and his use of fear and the evaluation of fear as an essential part of the human existence, that's really good stuff.
Yeah, it's one scene, and I like the idea more than I like the execution.
Yeah,
that's kind of the thing with Star Trek V. It reminds me of a Star Wars prequel. The idea is great. The execution is not. And in the end, you have a bad movie.
Yeah, I can't. I'm not doing a 35th for that horrible.
This is another thing to see. Little movie. Thing. He says the Enterprise is old. It's 20 years old. I'm like, wait a second. Starfleet's not interested in the longevity of his ships. The U.S. Navy is using ships that are 40 years old. Come on.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
And I mean, hey, what we've also seen is when the Enterprise gets obsolete, they just build a new one.
They just Plenty of letters in the alphabet, right?
Plenty
Kate?
of letters in the alphabet, exactly.
Yeah, as Picard says, plenty of letters left in the alphabet. Brian says some of DeForest Kelly's best acting was that scene that we just saw when he was
true.
when he was not possessed, but he had Spock's katra. By the way, Brian says there are nuggets in Star Trek V. I'm finding that Trek fans are starting to love V for what it is. Well, you can stay in your itty bitty little corner because that film is nothing to me. I'm sorry.
Wow.
It's nothing. To me, it never happened. Star Trek 6 happened because that's a really good film, but
that's my favorite. Absolute favorite.
Which is fine. I'm going to sit down one of these. I'm going to rewatch Undiscovered Country because I haven't seen that in a while either. So,
Undiscovered Country is great.
It is.
And I really like how they essentially made a movie to explain the resolving of the Klingon conflict from the original series to the Next Generation.
Oh, yeah. That's good stuff right there, man.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Undiscovered Country. We have Christopher Plummer as a Klingon. That's awesome.
Yes. Great actor, too. And rest in peace to Christopher Plummer. Great actor. One of the greats.
Also, no Generations 30th anniversary watch along this year.
Oh gosh. I mean, this is the thing. Like, there are some things I like in Generations, but I don't know if I like enough of it to do a two and a half hour watch along.
Actually, Generations is also the same length as this one, like one.
Oh, it's an hour 45 minutes. Well,
yeah. So actually, it's not that long.
It's not that long, but I don't know if I could do a watch along on Star Trek Generation, even though there are parts of it that I do like.
No, there's some good stuff in Generations.
There's some good things that I like in Generations, but probably not. Probably not. By the way, Brian is full of fun facts tonight. Brian says we even did a panel at Trek Long Island on Star Trek V, and the room was packed. Really? The room was packed. Goodness gracious. He says Undiscovered Country is much better, though.
All right, this really frustrates me. You want to send one ship into contested territory, which is relatively in a part of the world or the universe, and you choose an Oberth class starship that could be blown up if someone ate bad chili.
What? Oh Lord.
I'm very picky about the Oberth, man.
I will say, I mean, maybe we should have Chris on for more of these things. Goodness gracious, Case. He knows how to pick apart and nitpick these things.
But the thing is, he lives and breathes Star Trek the same way that I live and breathe Star Wars.
Yeah,
so he knows a lot about this stuff.
It's the same thing. Chris,
you say acolyte, I say akawa. No, actually, wait. Let me redo that one. You say acolyte, I say aka heavy. That was terrible. That was awful. Thank you. I'm here all week.
Or at least for the next hour and a half.
Yeah.
Try the veal.
The next
Tip
time
your waitress.
Exactly. Thank you. The next time we do a Star Trek watch along, we're going to bring Chris Single in on this. Whenever that is.
Yeah, you know what sucks? That this year we're not doing one anymore because all the slots are filled. Next year there isn't one because not a single Star Trek movie, at least that you like, was released in a year that ends with a 5 or a 0. So it will be 2026 for the next Star Trek watch along.
It's okay. Chris, Case, and I will be here for it. We're all going to be here. Like Chris and I and Case, we're all going to be sitting here commentating on the next Star Trek film in the next 2 years. It's fine. We got time, right, Chris? We'll be fine. We got plenty of stuff to talk.
In the world.
We got plenty of stuff to talk about in the meantime. You know,
So yeah, if you want to do watch alongs, then we have 2, I think, because you already did First Contact.
We did. Yeah, we did. That was great. Yeah. I loved it. That was a lot of fun.
So that leaves Undiscovered Country and Beyond, which are 2 movies I really like.
Yeah, I'm up for that. I'm up for that. I'm up for both, actually. I'm up for both. I mean, I like both movies, but for different reasons. So yeah, Undiscovered Country. I'm very excited to do one on that one. Yeah, that's 2 years.
Oh, that's the thing. If you only watched this movie a few years ago, then you probably haven't had a lot of time to rewatch them ever since.
Yeah. Yeah. Probably. You're right. Totally different hairstyle from Star Trek 2 to Star Trek
Captain,
3 when it
please,
comes
we'll take the risk. He
when
even
it comes-
kind of talks like Shatner, like young Shatner.
when it comes to Savick.
Yeah.
Completely different
Also,
hairstyle.
by the way, rest in peace, Merritt Buttrick, actor who plays the son.
Oh, really?
Well, he already died very young, right after this movie. Actually,
Oh,
he didn't grow to be very old.
oh, that's very sad. I'm sorry to hear that.
Actually, in the Star Trek world, we just had a loss, a bigger one that you didn't realize. The woman that played Nurse Ogawa in TNG, she died this week.
No way.
Yeah.
Jeez.
I was
But-
like, to me, she was like Miles O'Brien. Like Miles went on, but she was a semi-regular.
Sorry to hear that, by the way.
Yeah.
Sorry to hear that. That's another loss. So rest in peace to that actress.
Nurse Ogawa.
Nurse Ogawa. There you go. Very sad.
Okay, so unfortunately, the way that Kirk says Sarek is not as fun as Spock. Like, just remember throughout all of Star Trek, whenever Spock comes up, it's not Spock, it's Spock. Always with a tone of surprise, you know.
Yeah.
Now, hold on. Listen to Sarek's voice right here. This is so not Vulcan. What he's doing right, he's not Vulcan at all.
He is very human here.
Spare me your human platitudes, Kirk.
You may dispense with the pleasantries. Oh wait, sorry, wrong franchise.
One of these days we'll bring back the cantina, and it'll be a great time for everybody involved.
Depends on your schedule.
No. We can make room for what didn't they say Skeleton Crew was going to drop later this year?
Yeah, December 3rd.
All right, so in the wintertime, we'll see you in the wintertime for the cantina. We'll grab some nice hot drinks.
Yeah, I just remember one issue that you have in the wintertime. Most weeks you're not available in December.
Well, we could. I mean, I am. Well,
yes,
I am. Yes, but at the same time, I am free. I am free on Wednesday nights. We can do it on Wednesdays because I am off work.
Yeah, I can do it on Wednesdays.
Oh well, I can do it on Wednesdays. Jen, I can ask Jen and Christy.
Okay, actually, it depends on the week because it depends on the shift.
All right. Well, it would be the same time Wednesdays at 7.
Working on the night shift.
So if you can do it, great. But you know, as far as I know, I can fit in Nerdy Cantina on Wednesdays.
And actually, is that when the show also drops? Usually they drop shows on Wednesdays or Tuesday.
Yeah, I was gonna say, does it drop Wednesdays or is it? I don't even remember.
Let's see.
I mean, I'm willing to do Nerdy Cantina on the day off.
Tuesdays.
So okay, so it's the day after it drops that we'd be doing the show as well.
Yeah.
All right, that's fine. It's 24 hours. I can do it. I can watch the episode that day. It'll be fresh in my mind after I get off work anyway. So there you go. We can make a schedule or something.
By the way, Ingle, what you said about Sarek sounding quite human, or more, not as Vulcan. Could that have something to do with the episode in TNG where Sarek's mind goes nuts and he has to join with Picard?
His Ben-Dai syndrome. I mean, here's the thing: the Ben-Dai thing was written later, so I think we're retroactively thinking it. But in universe, it's very plausible. It makes sense.
In universe, it's somewhat of an explanation for it.
But I think also one of the things we have to acknowledge is that the relationship he had with Spock, even if he wouldn't admit it, was much deeper. We know that because of unification. We saw that when he was at his most vulnerable. He loved Spock. He cared about Spock. So it does kind of make sense. It's just we're not used to seeing a Vulcan in their capacities showing any emotion.
No. It's just, ever since I came across that episode of TNG, for the people who have no idea what I'm talking about, there's an episode of Next Generation where Sarek needs to host some kind of official
diplomatic conference.
Yeah, exactly. However, because Vulcans, when they get old, their mind starts slipping back with their emotions. Their emotions creep in, and they come back like essentially like think of an alcoholic who tried to quit, and all of a sudden the urge comes back, and he can't help it. Something like that, I feel.
Oof.
So, like, it comes back with a vengeance. His emotions go absolutely nuts, and that is essentially an explanation as to how a Vulcan could then go back to his emotional self.
This is something else that really, really is interesting to me. The security tapes have the view that just so happens is cinematically perfect, and it switches back and forth.
Yep.
You're telling me there was an editor for the security tapes?
Yes, there was, Chris.
The
security tapes
were
perfectly filmed.
Yeah, suspension of disbelief, I guess. I don't know. It's one of those things, ladies and gentlemen. If you're wondering what the Vulcan is going on, this is the Star Trek 3, the Search for Spock.
I dare you to say Bantha Father this time.
Yeah, I wasn't gonna say it because it's the wrong franchise. So I want to try to stick to the rails here, okay? Stick to the rails. So if you're just joining us, we're watching the movie Star Trek 3, The Search for Spock. Feel free to queue up your copy on physical media or streaming service. Feel free to queue it up to the case. Where are we at in the film?
I'm at 28 minutes and 53.45 seconds.
Thank you. So there you go. You can queue up your copy to that point, whether it's physical media or streaming service, and watch the movie along with us. Comment below in that chat. We've been loving every single one of your comments thus far. And if you're watching this live or what is known as a replay, we thank you specifically for being with us. And also thank you to our panelists known as Case and Chris for being with us and being so nitpicky about every little detail in this movie. And we're less than 30 minutes into the movie. But it's great because we need these sort of things. Because I don't know Star Trek as well as some other people do. And that's fine because I rely on experts such as the Trekspert here with Chris. And then you got Brian and Adina in the chat, chiming away about their thoughts about it. And by the way, congratulations to the Big Sci-Fi podcast on their time at Trek Long Island. They're going to be back there again next year for 2025. They already got some great ideas planned, great panels planned. So definitely get a chance to check out their podcast, support those guys over there. They're doing a great job. Love you, Brian. Love you, Adina, and the rest of your crew. Once again, as they always say in Star Trek, live long and prosper. So well done.
Kapla.
That's right. Yeah, it's one of the few things I know about how to say in Star Trekisms, whatever. I don't know.
Well, we're on the Genesis planet now.
Genesis.
We'll
What's it called?
We'll get there.
I was gonna say, what is it called again? Genesis.
Genesis. Yes, Genesis. Why do you think I'm trying to? I don't know the full quote. Oh God. But yeah, if you want a person sounding like Stitch from Lilo and Stitch, we're gonna get it.
So it's interesting what he just said. He's talking about these organisms,
Yeah.
and he said they were fruitful and multiplied. So what's interesting about this is the paradigms between this and the idea of the resurrection of Christ. And there are references throughout this that they pick up on about this idea of him coming back and saving everyone. So also, the fact that he used the biblical reference is interesting. All right.
Yeah. Genesis beyond the biblical reference. Mm-hmm. But is it interesting that the movie where Leonard McCoy, or that Leonard McCoy directed, is the one where his character returns like Jesus? Mm-hmm. Is there a message you want to tell us, Leonard? I mean, you don't have to understand Vulcan mysticism. It exists. Just accept that it exists. That's also kind of an issue that I have. They're just like, well, Vulcan mysticism, I don't understand it, so no. It's bullshit. Like, I think everyone has pretty much proof at Starfleet that the Vulcans have a better power that they can use. Or we're just gonna hijack the Enterprise. Kirk, that's a great idea.
Yeah, let me take the ship out and discover this Genesis planet. No, it is out of the question, Kirk. You can't go. I'm giving you orders. Yeah, but he doesn't care.
But by the way, we already saw it in the trailer, but I love how he's just like, the word is no. I'm therefore going anyway.
And this is proof that even in the future, the military and science organizations are still controlled by the government.
Oh yeah, of course.
And the bureaucrats.
Bureaucrats. That's an ugly word.
Well, it's the Federation Council who decided this.
Right.
The word is no. We're going anyway. Yay! Let's go.
Anyway. Who cares? We're just going to break all the rules and risk losing our careers and our pensions and our money. But we
don't have all that there.
Oh, here we go.
Oh, that's right.
Here we go. Best scene. By the way,
why are there triples?
This is absolute sarcasm. This scene is terrible.
I had to try.
Oh, triples.
I got to be honest. That guy who plays Starfleet security, doesn't he look a little Billy D-ish to you?
Yeah. What's your? That's not your usual poison. Logical. also the eyebrow that he twitches up is very Spock-like. Oh, there he is.
Yeah.
Oh boy. To your planet. Okay.
I think this is, I know this is a minor thing, but I think this is the first time we've gotten a laughter emoji in the chat here. Not in the chat, but on the video itself. Someone said, "I'm laughing at this video." Well, maybe it's because we're doing so much funny commentary. Maybe that's why. But thanks for that, audience. Appreciate you.
Much is where?
How much and how soon? How soon is Mukara sector.
I think it should be the Linkara sector.
Linkara?
I think he would appreciate that. Genesis!
Genesis.
Most famous line from this film.
Is it?
Okay. Kinda.
Yes.
Who created this character? For fuck's sake.
How can you be deaf with ears like that? Genesis now is planet forbidden. Backwards, friend. Oh, that's a little bit of a zinger at Yoda, isn't it? Everything he's saying is backwards. Oh, you're right. That guy does look like
Ryan.
That guy does look like a ripoff of Lando with that outfit.
Ryan, you are very behind.
Am I?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
What the fuck?
He's got commercials.
Yeah, he's got ads.
Yeah.
Like, why do you watch this on a streaming service where you don't have ads?
Because I don't have Paramount. Sorry.
The mats on this too are really well done.
It's just I can tell it's a painting.
I think anyone can tell it's a painting.
They're still beautiful.
Yeah. Artistry.
I would rather have it be a painting than a CGI background. Because CGI you're going to see over time. Painting is always going to look the same.
Flashing red lights. Hmm. Revenge for all the arguments he lost. What's that movie that came out? The security guys wearing those helmets. It's kind of like Running Man, maybe. Maybe some of the costumes that were worn in
helmets.
Running Man. I don't know.
Actually, you know what they look like now? They look like really cheap Star Wars Imperial officer uniforms. Like this,
Ooh.
In a sense, yeah.
look at it. Like you look at them, you go, "Oh, I see it now." But look at those stupid ball caps. Like that is ridiculous.
Baseball caps. How
They
dare
are. They're
they
baseball caps.
How dare they use baseball caps in a Star Trek movie?
Well, that was easy.
You guys are so not going to have me
It was
on
very
again.
easy.
No, it's all right, Chris. We still like it. You can come back anytime. We got plenty of watch-alongs planned for 2024. We're already planning 2025 as it is.
Don't call me tiny. Taking me to the promised land.
Yeah, we're going to the promised land, everybody.
The first Excelsior. I love it.
I mean, the Excelsior is a beautiful ship. I really love how it's used in Star Trek 6.
Mm-hmm. I feel like Uhura gets sidelined in this movie, though. She's barely.
She does.
Yeah, she does.
She's hardly in the movie at all.
But in all fairness, Uhura was never a very big part of these movies, or the original series, for that matter.
Yeah.
Mr. Adventure. This is such an idiot.
Kind of reminds me of a young Ron Howard, though.
A little bit.
I don't think I've ever seen Ron Howard act in anything.
Oh, he's acted.
Oh, I'm sure. I just
long before he became an award-winning director.
Gary, Indiana, Gary. Case doesn't get that reference.
No, I do not. I'm not gonna do that.
This is fantasy. You want an adventure? How's this? Get in the closet.
This is fantasy.
Get in the closet.
Don't come out of it, though.
Yeah. Otherwise, Uhura will stun you.
That's a joke, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
Or your hopes and dreams.
Jeez. What do we think of the jacket Shatner's wearing?
I'll try to.
It's kind of interesting how 70s retro their futuristic clothes are.
Yeah, you think there, Chris?
A little bit. And he's well into his girdle years, too. Station,
Yep.
please.
Yeah.
Like one of the things it's always very difficult to figure out. How do you make clothing look futuristic? Because you have no idea what the fashion trend will be by that point. Considering we're like late late 23rd century, I think.
Hmm.
Ingle,
Yeah.
you know this.
Yeah, it's set in the.
Ingle, are you hearing me?
What?
When does this take place? Late 23rd century?
Yes. You know what? Hold on. Now I'll find the exact
That's a
year.
great question. Yeah, what's the
Exact start date.
timeline?
Because he gives the star date at the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
I know, but I don't do star dates.
Yeah, I don't even know what a star date is. I don't even know what that means.
It's beyond
I
confusing.
used to know the standard, but I don't remember anything now.
Yeah, I don't know.
2285.
Oh,
Yeah. There you go.
there you go. That answers the question. 2285. Let's write. Yeah, good note. Write that one down.
This is my favorite scene in the whole movie.
Oh, is it?
Oh yeah, it's so good.
Oh, hijacking the Enterprise, yeah.
Hmm. By the way, that's Miguel Ferrer, another actor we've unfortunately lost recently. He's been in so many big hit movies such as RoboCop. He was in the TV series NCIS Los Angeles. He was in Hot Shots Part 2. Let's see. So I'm trying to think. What other movies has he been in? He's been in so many. That's the thing.
Okay. Only issue I have with this, as close as they were in Space Talk, they couldn't get a tractor beam on the Enterprise?
Nope.
No tractor beams in Space Talk?
I thought tractor beams were a Star Wars thing.
No, it's a Star Trek.
Oh, they use them in both? Okay.
Yep.
Tractor beam.
But grapplers are cool.
Right. Oh, seems like the bay doors are opening. You know.
Oh, Scott says that he has it covered.
Mm-hmm.
Getting close now.
We've cleared the space doors. At least the Enterprise leaving and coming in and out doesn't take nearly as long as the 85-minute sequence in a motion picture.
Oh, motion picture.
Yeah.
In motion picture, they would make sure to have a long take at the front with all the music, and long take at the side with all the music. Oh, and make sure to have Kirk and Scotty in a shuttle reacting to all of it, and have a reaction shot of them, and then go back to the Enterprise and have the score. Yeah, that's motion picture for.
That's what it is.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Oh, now we're standing by the tractor beam.
Oh yeah, now I noticed. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, there it is. Like, no, we're not going to use it. It's too late. Excelsior closing to 4,000 meters, sir.
How can we have a red alert in Space Talk?
Oh, it's beautiful.
Oh, red alert in space dock. Red alert. All hands to battle
beautiful.
stations.
Isa, I'm giving it everything she got.
My favorite thing about Montgomery Scott is in the fourth one where he's just looking at the technology in the 80s and he says, "Computer." talking into that mouse, and I'm like, oh my gosh, that's good. That's so good.
Hello, computer.
Computer. Hello, computer. Computer, can you hear me? Computer.
Just use
good.
the mouse.
Just use
This is the best. The sound effect they used here.
Oh yeah, the sound effect is
Good
pretty
morning,
shit.
Captain. Oh, that's almost like the scene in Independence Day where Jeff Goldblum pops open his laptop and it says, "Good morning, Dave." I'm like, dang.
I'm afraid I can't do that, Captain.
I'm sorry, Captain. I'm afraid I can't do that. Isn't that right, Case?
There you go.
Jeez. Yeah, whenever someone asks me to do something I can't do it, I just drop the 2001 reference on them. I'm sorry, insert person's name here. I'm afraid I can't do that.
I'm afraid I can't do that.
Yeah, I can't do that. That's how I am sometimes. It's how I am. When it comes to certain requests.
Also, I will say, as much as I dislike the motion picture, it's probably as much as I like 2001: A Space Odyssey. I know it's not. I know a lot of people are against 2001, but I've seen it 3 times now, and I adore the movie.
Oh, do you? Okay.
Yes.
See, I'm the opposite side of the fence. I didn't really care for it that much. I watched it. I did, but I just didn't really enjoy it.
It's honestly, at least from a filmmaking perspective, is an absolute masterpiece.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Of course, story is controversial.
What are these noises he's making?
What was I gonna say?
I'm honest. Whenever I hear these sounds, I'm just thinking of South Park, Big Longer and Uncut, and they're like, sounds like a giraffe is dying over there.
Sounds like a giraffe is dying. Oh my!
Let's make the sound of dying giraffe. This is what it sounds like.
What are you? Oh jeez! Oh my gosh! What? Oh. I mean, I think the music in 2001 is cool. The score, right? The score is good. Yeah, it's exactly. If you grew up watching pro wrestling, it's the Nature Boy Ric Flair's theme song. So there's another.
I don't do wrestling.
That's okay. You can leave the wrestling to me. It's fine. So they just walk into they come on Genesis planet and they find this abandoned kid who just happens to be a Vulcan. Right? That's plot convenience, isn't it?
Actually, it kind of makes sense with the explanation of what's happening to the Genesis planet, because initially Genesis was supposed to be a planet where just it creates life out of lifelessness. But the issue in this movie is that it's growing too fast. And that's why they were able to resurrect Spock's cells into a new being. Which, I mean, it's a bit contrived, but I'll accept it.
It goes a little deeper, too, which is neat. Why it failed is the fascinating thing. Because he admits that he used proto-matter, which is, slightly different type of matter, but it's unstable. He used it to cut corners.
Yeah.
And it's interesting that he did that so their funding would be continued to research. And yet, who else is famous for the no-win scenario?
His dad.
Yeah.
There's a similarity there between the two of them.
I don't like to lose.
I don't believe in a no-win scenario.
Yeah. We didn't do Wrath of Khan, did we?
Did we?
Or
no,
on Watchalong?
No, right. We didn't. Is that in 2?
Well, that will be 2027.
Oof, got a long ways to go for that one.
45th anniversary by that point.
Oh, is it? Okay, well, we can do one for Wrath of Khan. I'm down for it. Let's do it. We can mark that.
Oh, by the way, you should kind of do like a month of watch-alongs where we do Star Trek II: The Wrath of Khan, Blade Runner, and The Thing. Because all three movies came out in the same week.
Oh my gosh, really? Yeah. Jeez. Well, I like 2 of those 3 movies. Blade Runner I couldn't get behind, but I know I know it has its fandom. Don't get me wrong.
I will say I'm also not the biggest fan of the original Blade Runner.
Okay.
I adore the sequel, but the original Blade Runner, I think it's good.
Yep. One of the other things we talk about real quick is Christopher Lloyd. We love Christopher Lloyd. No one pays attention to John Larroquette. Why are we not paying attention to John Larroquette?
I don't know who John Larroquette is. I just know that he's
in the movie. Who does he play in the movie?
He's Krug's first
one
officer.
of the Klingons.
Oh, that's when he's the first officer of Krug?
Yeah.
I didn't know that was John Larroquette. Get out of here. Really? Oh, all right. I'm going to pay extra close attention next time he shows up on screen, because that dude, I grew up watching him in Richie Rich with Macaulay Culkin.
Yeah. I was a Night Court kid, so.
Right, of course. Have you been watching the reboot of Night Court?
I do, and I like it.
Because they brought him back, John Larroquette.
And Melissa Rauch is amazing. I love Melissa Rauch.
From Big Bang Theory, if I remember correctly, right?
Yeah.
Okay, just making sure I had the casting right. Sorry. By the way, Philip Miller is in the building. He says apparently the actor who played as the kid played Fred in a pup named Scooby-Doo. He passed away at some point. Wow. Another fun fact. I did not know that. I'm sorry to hear about that.
By the way, with the
young
kid,
actor.
Do you mean
the one they just found on Genesis?
Ah, okay.
Yeah, that actor. Yeah, played Fred in a pup named Scooby-Doo. He passed away at some. That is sad to hear, but thank you for sharing that with us, Philip Miller. Philip goes on to say, "Oh, good character analysis between Kirk and David."
Thank you so much.
This is what we have Ingle for.
Yeah, this is what we have Ingle for. So anytime we talk about Star Trekisms, we bring the Trexpert on here. Also, the next time we do a watch along, we may want to bring in either Brian or Adina for the next one because they're big Trekkies. So that might be fun. We've had 4 people on watch alongs before. It's been fun. We've done them before.
Oh, I suppose Adina wasn't available
today. Yeah, I reached out to both of them. They were tied up with other plans, I think, this weekend. So
otherwise
they would have been here. But yeah, Brian, Adina, wish you the best. Hope you're enjoying your weekends. Please be safe out there as you're doing some traveling, or going getting together with some folks. Just be safe with travels. That's all I say. So which one is where?
David is admitting to the corner seat cut.
No. Ugh. That creature is like a precursor to Tremors. Ugh.
It is, but it's really fascinating that those are supposed to be bacteria and microorganisms and what they would look like in a macro scale.
Gee.
Also, yet again, this reminds me of The Thing a bit.
Yeah.
Because, it's
John
like
Carpenter.
This is all practical animatronic type stuff.
Mm-hmm. So which one is Laracat? The second one?
He's on the ship right now.
Oh, he is on the ship. Okay. I gotta watch closely for this now.
For John Larroquette?
Yeah, I gotta watch out for him because he's a really good actor. I'm trying to think of
it also was an early role for Larroquette too.
Oh. Good for him. Well done. Putting that on your resume. That's good.
And that's the thing. I think as an actor, if you get the chance to be in Star Trek in any capacity,
any way, shape, or form,
a win.
It is a win. I agree with you. I gotta watch out for John.
I will say, having watched all of TNG, I was surprised by how many famous actors actually appeared.
Dude, Famke Janssen shows up.
Yes.
The biggest one I think of is Kelsey Grammer. Like he's there.
Kelsey Grammer shows up.
Oh, really? What episode was he on?
The time loop episode of TNG.
Yeah, it's a
time loop
episode.
Okay, I'll have to look.
That's not the title of it, but it's the one with the time loop.
Oh, the time loop. Okay, so he's in that. But yeah, when Famke Janssen shows up and she's looking for like the mate to her equal her or whatever, I'm just like, whoa. Wait a minute.
I'm just like, wait, you're playing the same characters in GoldenEye.
Yeah, like
reminded me a lot.
Dude, when I saw that on YouTube one time, I was like, you've got to be kidding me. She shows up in Star Trek TNG. Get the heck out of here. That was awesome.
A lot of people do that I can think off the top of my head. I'm going, no way, Kirsten Dunst.
No.
Kirsten Dunst was in an episode of TNG.
TNG? My goodness. And that was before she was in Interview with the Vampire and Jumanji.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Tony Award-winning actor Joel Grey. And I think he won an Oscar, too.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, he's Jennifer Grey's dad.
That's Jennifer Grey's dad. Wow.
Yeah.
That's insane.
He was in an episode of Voyager. The Rock was in an episode of Voyager.
Yes. Yes. Dude, they promoted...
I had to get there.
They promoted that so heavily on SmackDown, like leading into that week's episode. Yeah. Leading into that, they promoted his appearance, and I'm like, wait a minute. The Rock is in a Star Trek episode? Like, what? How's that?
Well, he was still a wrestler at that point, so.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, he's in. I just couldn't see it at the time, him being in Star Trek. But it's like, dude, he's cutting his teeth on learning what it is to become an actor outside of WWE. So I thought that was smart. So was that an episode of? You said it was Voyager, or was it
Voyager?
It was Voyager.
Yeah, because he fights 7 of 9 and wins.
Ooh! Spoiler alerts!
Oh,
spoilers!
Again, an episode that's
I'm aware, but I haven't seen it yet.
Oh, it's 30 years old.
I'm on.
Where are you right now?
I'm on season 5 of Deep Space Nine and season 3 of Voyager.
Oh, okay. So you're watching both series.
Yeah, she doesn't come in until the 4th season.
Yeah, that's later.
I made an extremely elaborate, convoluted list of all the episodes in order of release, so that I'm watching all of it in order of release. Because that's the thing. Like, TNG, when TNG was in the final 2 seasons, Deep Space Nine started coming out, and there are crossover episodes, and I just wanted to see how those crossovers worked. Actually, you don't have to watch them both at the same time to get the crossovers. I just wanted to see how it worked. And then when TNG ended, Voyager started, and Voyager and DS9 were
only in
releasing
the
simultaneously.
pilot. Yeah.
Yeah, but yet this thing, the only crossover that there is for Voyager is that Voyager starts at Deep Space Nine, and then they get lost in the Delta Quadrant, and that's it. There's no other crossover with Voyager anymore.
Wow. So does this mean you watch 2 episodes a week of each show because you're doing it in episode release, or do you watch like?
No. I was binging it for a while.
Right.
Over the past couple of years, whenever I had time, whenever I felt like it.
There's a lot
Now,
more COVID.
I haven't seen them. I haven't continued with it in a while now.
Oh, okay.
But whenever I get the urge, I can just pop on an episode, because that's the great thing about those old Star Trek episodes. You can just pop them on whenever you want. You don't really have to follow closely, because most of them are standalone episodes. And even if they continue with big plot points, you will remember it. Like if they continue with the Dominion War in DS9, you will remember what's going on.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's fair. I can get with that.
By the way, Spock, when they told you to finger a girl, they didn't mean this.
Wow. Wow.
He's been holding on to that joke for a while.
You've been sitting on that one for...
I know. Again, this is the nostalgia critic version.
You've been sitting on it for Lord knows how long. Which, by the way, outside of the craziness that's ensuing with some of the commentary, we are celebrating the 40th anniversary.
I'm sorry for the language.
It happens. Of Star Trek 3, The Search for Spock. It's 40 years old this year. We're doing a watch along of it. If you want to queue up your copy,
right there.
Thank you. If you want to queue up your copy on physical media or streaming service, please feel free to do so. Case, where are we at within the film?
I'm at 59:32 seconds, almost the hour mark. The Klingons are cloaking, waiting for the Enterprise's arrival.
Gotcha. So yeah, feel free to queue up your copy on physical media or streaming service right now and watch the movie right along with us from the comfort of your very own home. Comment below in that chat. Do not forget to like and share this with everyone you know. And if you're joining this live or on a replay, we thank you so much for being with us. And thank you to everybody who has commented in the chat thus far with some fun facts, some behind the scenes stories, and some things they enjoy about this, or some interviews that they've put together. Really good stuff. We appreciate every single one of you. Been sitting on that comment for a long time, Kay. Lord.
I think I've heard him say that to me once before too.
Really? So before that, okay, great.
Nostalgia critic, probably.
Yeah.
As I said, I'm just quoting the nostalgia critic. It's just funny.
It is funny. No, I'm not.
Both of you laughed.
Yeah. Very, very true. By the way, Philip Miller says, interestingly enough, Bill Shatner himself is showing Star Trek V, The Final Frontier, in San Jose, California, and he's doing a live commentary on the movie. And he says, I think it is within the next week or so in the state of California, San Jose.
It is. It's in San Jose, and our good friend Brennan Marr is going to be meeting with a lot of the cast members.
Wow. Doing it for Star Trek V.
Oh, man.
Shatner, can you at least apologize for that movie? Because you owe us an apology.
Is that your way of saying like they did many years ago when they made George Clooney apologize for his performance of Batman and Robin?
Exactly.
That's not his fault.
And Joel Schumacher as well.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Joel Schumacher apologized for making that movie.
Well, at least
if Joel Schumacher can't do that, then Shatner can apologize for Star Trek V.
Sure. Wow. Bill Shatner doing a commentary on Star Trek V, one of the absolute worst films in the history of the franchise. Boy, that's interesting to me. Let's see. Philip Miller says it is $300 to have the VIP experience too during these proceedings next week.
See, now here's the thing.
You mean the VIP experience where you get the commentary on,
and then you get an apology video.
I was going to say Bill Shatner should be giving me a discount to come meet him because he and I are birthday buddies.
Really?
Yep, my birthday is March 22nd.
Get out of here.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. March, what was it? 22nd, you say?
22nd, yeah.
22nd. Wow.
Which,
he
by
did-
the way, is
Yeah.
also Captain Kirk's birthday.
Oh,
No,
they
that's-
made that. No, it makes sense.
That's clever of the writers to incorporate the actor's real life into the movies and the TV series, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
And actually, we see his birthday in Star Trek 2.
Star Trek. Oh, Star Trek 2, Wrath of Khan. Yeah.
Yeah, when Bones gifts him Romulan ale, which is illegal, and the because he's allergic to retinax.
Jeez. Wow. There you go. Let's see. Philip Miller goes on to say, "Ha ha ha! You are bad, Case."
I am the worst. I know.
laughing face emoji incorporates Philip Miller there. By the way, Philip, hope everything's well in your neck of the woods, my friend. It's always good to see you here in these chats. Wow, San Jose, and they're doing it next week. Well, what is it? You said Brendan's going to be there. Well, we hope Brendan has a great time.
Yeah, we have a goal. He's trying to meet as many as he can, and because we have our podcast, we're trying to get him to say, "Hi, I'm Bob Picardo," and you're Liz, that kind of thing. Like, we're trying to get bumpers
to do the bumper. Yeah. Dude, if I go to a Comic-Con the next time I'm there, if I'm able to get someone to record on my phone, like, or do a video like real quick, I'll do it. What do you call it? Horizontally. I'll be like, hey, can you say, hey, my name is so-and-so, and you're watching And I Quote Channel on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch. Embrace the nerd within you. If they can swing that, dude, I got it made in the shade. So who knows?
By the way, whenever Krug or Christopher Lloyd speaks Klingon, he sounds like he has a very very sore throat or something. There's something.
Klingon, bird of prey, sir. She's armored torpedo. Fire, Mr. Scott. I will say the ships look really good in these movies, whether it's the Enterprise or the Birds of Prey. I like the design of the ships, is what I'm trying to say. That's what I'm saying. I don't know. I like the design of the ships. Do you guys like the design of the ships? I mean, I think they look cool.
Oh yeah.
There goes Ballsack.
There goes ripoff of John Carpenter's The Thing.
Yeah.
John.
As I said, the nostalgia critic named it Ballsack.
Ballsack. When is when is Blade Runner and The Thing's anniversary again? When is that?
27.
Oh, 27. All right, gotcha.
3 years from now.
3 years. We got a long ways from that, but I'm willing to do what is it?
We can do The Thing in Wrath of Khan.
Yeah, we could do The Thing in Wrath of Khan for sure. Yeah.
Oh, by the way, if you like Blade Runner 2049, that one turns 10 the same year. Wait, no, that doesn't meet the criteria for you.
Because it's 3 hours long.
Yeah, longer than 2.5 hours.
Yeah, it's way longer than 2.5. Yeah, sorry. One of the things we do around here is we try to keep these watch-alongs to a reasonable length, because movies that are 2 to 2.5 hours are fine, but anything other than that is pushing it.
Okay, but Lord of the Rings extended versions
is what, 4 hours? 4 hours?
Return of the King is 4 hours. Yeah.
Listen, that movie came out in 2003.
2003.
And listen, I went on opening night.
Did you?
The ending of that movie is still playing to this day.
Yeah, you just threw Case off for a little bit there. He's like, wait a minute, what is he trying to say? Yeah, that ending. Don't you mean like the 60 different endings that movie has?
Okay.
I don't care what anyone says. Every single ending is earned.
It has like 60 endings.
Yes, and all of them are earned.
All right, that's fine. It's fine.
All of them are needed.
All right. So this really irritates me from the writer's standpoint. This is where I have the biggest critique of this film.
Go ahead.
So in the beginning, he said for the Klingon Empire, he's all about the Empire. Now that's very Klingon. That's fine. But number one, he's not fighting with any honor. And then as he goes down to the planet, he wants Genesis. He wants control. He wants to be in power. It's not for the Empire. It's for him. There's no consistency in his behaviors through this film and why he wants Genesis.
He just learned about it and he's like, oh, I like that. That's cool.
Yeah. Wow. Okay.
He's kind of like a kid. He's kind of a child in that regard.
Well, Krug is basically a rogue Klingon just out for himself.
Yeah,
But he
for
didn't
sure.
start out saying that. Everything
Right.
he said was for the Klingon Empire. And listen to him.
Right. And he's a
He
liar.
talks about the protection of the Klingon Empire to Kirk.
Yeah. So now what you're saying is he's a liar and a narcissist.
Oh yeah, but it is true because the Genesis device is indeed a great power that could potentially form a threat to the Klingon Empire. Fair enough, but he just goes rogue.
And remember, with great power comes a really kitschy catchphrase.
Great responsibility.
No, Ryan, we're not supposed to finish the damn catchphrase.
Well, I'm sorry, but just saying.
Everyone keeps saying it. We know it.
I know. We've known it for 22 years. I know. It's been ages. By the way, Phil Miller says, Chris, you are absolutely right. That's a good observation. I think the writers goofed up a bit with the writing of the.
Yeah, I mean, motivation for your villains is important. You need to know why they're doing. Just mustache twirling is not enough.
You're
evil for evil.
Even if it is Christopher Lloyd doing the twirling. Because he's a great actor. We love Chris. I've always
he twirls a lot better in Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
Who Framed Roger Rabbit? Which
his best performance as a villain actually comes in Amazing Stories.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he plays this really mean teacher. And these kids are tired of him, so they want to play a prank, and they find these kind of backwards sounding records that are said to play spells. So they steal an old yearbook, and they go to his home and burn a page and say these incantations, and it looks like it killed him. And they freak out about it, so they're going to undo it. Well, when they undo it, they got to burn another picture, and they accidentally tear it at his head and burn it. So what it does is it revives him, but makes him headless, and he goes on a killing spree.
There goes David.
You think losing Spock was hard enough for Kirk? Now losing his own kid is going to be even worse. Admiral, David is dead. And he just collapses in his chair. Just falls to the ground. By the way, something interesting here. Phil Miller says, hello, Ryan and everyone. I'm doing good. My 8-year-old daughter wants me to drive from California to Minneapolis, Minnesota to see Snake Discovery, which is specifically known as a snake zoo. Daddy is not into snakes, but he does like Star Trek V, The Final Frontier, although not as much as Star Trek II, The Wrath of Khan.
Everyone loves Khan.
I don't know. This whole Star Trek V thing is baffling me. It's just baffling. And then he goes on to say, CL was good. Christopher Lloyd was great at playing what is known as a jackass. He was also great as Fester in the Addams Family movies. Have not seen the movie Case is talking about.
You guys have to check him out in Taxi. Taxi was even before this, and he's really
It was as Reverend Jim, if I remember correctly. By the way, did you see the driver's test clip, Chris, from Taxi? It's one of the best ever. So good. What does a yellow light mean? Do you know what a yellow light means, Chris? What does a yellow light mean?
Go faster.
Gee whiz. Yeah, and we mentioned this before.
That makeup is, when you look close up, that makeup is really good.
Yeah, absolutely.
So the actor who played as David passed away a few years after this movie had come. Yeah, very sorry to hear that. Very sorry.
See, here's where he says it's all for the Empire. Like, what, we're gonna plant our flag. That's not somebody looking for power individually. That's the sound of someone saying, for my glory, for the Empire. That's very Klingon. But all of his other actions are counter that.
Very sad.
Oh, and I just realized Christopher Lloyd is an actor who has appeared both in Star Trek and Star Wars. Now that he's been in The Mandalorian.
Yep. He has been in both fandoms now. I mean, it took him 45, 50 years between the two. I mean, geez, Chris, you should have been in Star Wars long before you showed up in Mandalorian.
He's not alone. We have Simon Pegg.
Yeah, Simon Pegg took forever to show up.
Okay, to be fair, Simon Pegg is not as recognizable. It does count, but not as recognizable.
Well, those are right.
But yeah.
Ron Perlman has done both.
Oh, that's right. Perlman's done both.
George Takei. I could go on and on and on.
Oh, yeah, George Takei in Clone Wars.
Oh, he was in Clone Wars? I didn't know that.
Yep. He's Luck Dud of the Trade Federation.
Ethan Phillips has done both.
Oh, Ethan Phillips. Okay.
Brent Spinner.
Where is Ethan Phillips in Star Wars?
Where is he?
Hold on, I'll get that information.
He's bringing it up now.
I am bringing it up now.
He's talking into the mouth.
I get the feeling this might be a voice cameo somewhere.
Is it a voice cameo? Might be.
I have a feeling it's probably one of the TV series.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Oh, probably.
The TV series could have done. Computer. Can you tell us something? Hello, computer.
Hello, computer.
I may just go on YouTube after this show.
Okay. He's done Star Wars video games, not.
The video games. Okay.
He was in. He did lots of voices in Knights of the Old Republic.
Oh, KOTOR. Yeah, there you go.
Yay.
Which a lot of people were clamoring for a Knights of the Old Republic movie or animated movie, or maybe even a series, really, because you could. There's so many stories you can tell with that.
Mm-hmm.
Hypothetically.
Oh, where did Deep Roy do Star Wars?
Was he an
Ewok? He was an Ewok.
Yeah, I think he was.
Probably.
He was an Ewok, wasn't he, Case?
He also doubled for R2-D2.
He did, yeah.
Oh, that makes sense as well.
Yeah, he did.
Some of these are neat. I'm like, wow.
There's some good fun facts here. By the way, Phil Miller says George Takei has done Guess 2 Scooby-Doo. Hilarious.
Remember that.
Oh,
wow. Oh my. That's the best thing George Takei has contributed to pop culture is the oh my.
Oh my.
He has dropped that so many times. And he's cameoed on Big Bang Theory and some other geek-related series. He's been all over the map, George Takei. He's been everywhere.
The Enterprise is about to blow up.
Yeah, but they don't see... Even with the countdown, they're like, wait a minute, what does the countdown mean?
I insist. Look it up on YouTube sometime. Listen to him tell Graham Norton the story of where the "oh my" meme came from.
Okay, I got it. This I gotta see, Chris.
Yeah, YouTube it.
So
I didn't know this. Yeah, he was on the Graham Norton show.
Graham Norton, I got you.
Yeah, and he tells that story.
Graham Norton's got some good clips on his channel, man. He's done so many great interviews.
It's fun. It's entertaining.
Yeah, he makes the celebrities like just be like regular people. You know, they don't talk about their movies. They just be them. They be their regular normals. Like, I mean, he got like Hugh Jackman and like two other actors like you never would expect would share a couch together. We're just chilling like they were best friends.
Get out of there!
Oh, I love this.
Boom!
You see the countdown, and yet you don't think to run.
Doesn't register.
Do Klingons not understand numbers and a final countdown on a screen mean?
It's the final
countdown. Yeah, like the Europe song. Like the Europe
song.
What
I love the most about this scene is, other than some of the light effects, this was all practical.
Hey, well done.
You can see it.
But I love that. It's so great.
There are times that I hanker for these times of cinema because CGI was not a thing yet.
It wasn't a thing yet. You're right. Yep, 100% with you on that case.
Like, especially if you look at a movie like The Thing, like the practical effects are insane in that movie.
Yes,
what you had to do.
Which is great. I freaking love that's
because if you don't watch the 2011 prequel, I should say, of the
it's a prequel with what's her name, Mary Elizabeth Winstead, if I remember correctly.
Like they actually decided to make all of the Thing monsters practical, and then they were like, no, let's do it CGI, and it looks terrible.
Yeah, I watched not too long ago the prequel to John Carpenter's The Thing with the Mary Elizabeth Winstead, Eric Christian Olsen. Was also in that NCIS Los Angeles. Fun fact for you. I mean, it's fine for what it is, and Mary Elizabeth Winstead carries the film to the best of her ability. And also, Joel freaking Edgerton in this. Yeah, it's freaking in this, and I'm like, okay, they're carrying this film to the best of their ability, but this clearly doesn't hold a candle to Carpenter.
No,
it doesn't hold a candle. But at least they tried, because originally I thought the thing was just a straight up remake, if not like a sequel, but it's actually a prequel.
It's a prequel. It explains what they were doing at the Norwegian Institute over on the other side. And it explains why the hell they're chasing the dog at the beginning of the first movie.
Yep. So it's, little bit of cleverness with the interconnectivity and the
The
storytelling.
thing is, like, I like the idea of it. It's just, it sucks that they decided to make all the things in the movie practical. Not
CGI.
practical. Yeah.
CGI. That's unfortunate. They should have stuck to practical, man.
Yeah.
So much better than that. It's so much better that way. Honestly, if you're going to continue on from something that Carpenter did like 30 years earlier, just do it practically.
Spock's face is doing weird stuff.
It's evolving, and Savik's like, dear heavens, what is happening? Philip, is this a question or a statement? Phil Miller says Star Trek V is somewhat of a challenge of theological falsehoods. That's right. What does God need with a starship? God really out there? Is he the human? Is he in the human heart? Yeah.
But Ryan, what does God need with a starship?
Exactly. I don't know. I don't understand it because the movie doesn't make any flippin' sense.
No.
That's why it's no good. I don't count it. It never happened. I just pretend it doesn't exist. Like in other film franchises, there's certain movies that don't exist.
Essentially, in terms of Star Trek V, I very much like the idea of a neutral planet like Nimbus 3.
Right.
Where you can have all different species meet on the same planet and they can have a drink together. That's cool. I like the idea of Cybok's ability to, go into the fear of people. And there's a good scene about that when he shows McCoy his dad, that kind of stuff. And when Kirk is like, no, I don't want to see this. I want my pain. I need my pain. It's good acting, actually, from Shatner in that moment. That's pretty much it for the movie. The rest of the movie, what does God need with the starship? Fuck off.
It's like, get out of here. Phil Miller says, I think the explosion sequence that we just saw of the Enterprise was pretty spectacular. It looks so believable, whereas CGI would have ruined it.
Yep.
Yeah, CGI would have butchered. Honestly, I think CGI would have butchered the whole movie if they did it that way. If it was all CGI, no practical effects, no matte paintings, none of that stuff. Like if it was all CGI, it would have been worse.
Yeah. And I mean, we eventually do get a CGI destruction of the Enterprise and beyond, and that's fine because that's modern day CGI, so it's good.
It's fine. But in 84, practical effects were great, and they should have stayed that way to a certain degree.
Well,
but, visual effects have done a lot of good.
Look, I will say that CGI is a great help, but you should always see it as a help, not a means to do something or am I saying that right? I don't think you should see it as something,
right?
Not to. God, how do you say this? I don't know what I'm saying.
No, it's okay.
No, it's essentially the way that Christopher Nolan and Denis Villeneuve use CGI in their movies. They only use it when strictly necessary, and they try to make everything as practical as they can.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's true. Drop all weapons. Man, Christopher Lloyd had a heck of a run in the 80s, man. So many different movies, so many different franchises. It's ridiculous.
A lot of different movies.
I mean, the guy's resume is like 60 miles long. It's insane. What?
Because you wish it. See, that's cruel. I love that.
But why? Because you wish it.
I mean,
yeah.
Let's
activate.
But by the way, that's smart that Kirk remembers that the way he says it.
Oh, right, because it comes to the factor in a minute here. By the way,
that's the thing. He's gonna say it the exact same way, and that actually convinces Maltz to beam them up.
So. This is something that I've always as a fan, I've always wanted to rewrite.
Yeah, go ahead.
I love the idea of the death of David. Don't get me wrong, but I think it's shallow what they did. What I would love is if you don't kill David earlier. What you do is you make it this far. You beat up Spock, but David stays with him. David and Kirk together. Bruce first subdues Kirk, and he's just fighting David. Kirk gets up, and at the last second.
Chris, may I interrupt you for just a moment because I can barely hear you. I don't know what's wrong, but there's.
Can we hear me now?
Not really. Not great.
You hearing me okay, Ryan?
It's better.
Okay.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Anyway, but just as he's getting back up, he kills David right then and there, and that enrages Kirk. You know, it was I just like it. I think it flows a little better because then Kid Spock has no purpose in it, and he does nothing here. I think David deserved a little better death. However, I get why they did it. I just like the idea of my way of it.
No, I also get why they did it, and essentially, like, this goes to show that Kirk goes through great lengths to get Spock back. Like, Spock doesn't just return like Darth Maul in the Clone Wars. Like, oh, there he is, and he's just back now. No. They need to, like, they destroy a planet. Kirk loses his son. A lot happens. Oh, by the way, the iconic line.
There it is. You
had enough of you.
No. That is also used in South Park, Bigger, Longer, and Uncut at the very end.
Oh, that's
when, for anyone who's seen it, Satan and Saddam Hussein.
Okay,
that's a sentence that some people might never have thought was possible, but yeah, believe me, it's Satan and Saddam Hussein doing exactly that.
That's going into a different kind
of
Phantom territory. By the way, Phil Miller says a modern day CGI is still not as believable. I think we as humans can tell the difference on a psychological level when it comes to that sort of thing.
Sometimes yes. I will say though, I think directors like Denis Villeneuve and Christopher Nolan, they really do it right because they know exactly when to use it and when not to. Because that's what you can clearly see in Dune. Like when we have a sandworm, of course we know a sandworm cannot be real, so it's CGI, but it looks very, very real because they knew when exactly to use the CGI.
Mm-hmm. Whoa, sandworms! You hit him right. I hit him myself.
In the trailer, I checked into this.
Yes.
Burton, even though it looks cleaner, Burton still stuck with traditional stop motion animation for the sandworms that are going to be in Beetlejuice.
There you go.
Oh.
There you go. See, some people are sticking to the old school way of doing things. By the way, Phil Miller says, I think it would have worked out the way you suggested earlier with regards to David's situation there, Chris.
Yeah.
They did this in South Park, really? Yeah, Philip Miller. They've done a lot of crazy, weird stuff that I don't even want to get into on South Park because that's a completely different conversation.
This is a kicker too. You look at the bridge, the way it is now, and then look at the start of 4. They're two totally different.
They're completely different. Yeah.
Different things, different kinds of bridges, different kinds of environments. So there you go. That's what happens sometimes, fellas.
And they can't read Klingon. Maybe having a Watchalong in this trip might have been a good idea. But as we know in Star Trek 6, apparently she don't speak Klingon. BS.
Yeah. Honestly, like that's one character that got a major upgrade with the new movies, Uhura.
Yes, they did. Like, and in Strange New Worlds. I don't know if you've watched Strange New Worlds.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah.
No, she's way better in Strange New Worlds.
I haven't. Who's playing her in Strange New Worlds? Who's the actress?
Very young actress from Nigeria.
I don't remember her name. I'll be honest.
Now you got me curious.
I lied.
I wonder who the actress is.
Strange
New Worlds.
I lied.
I thought you were going to kill me. Nah, I lied. Get in the brig.
Yeah.
So this was another surprise too, which for audiences at the time I think would have been a kick. Is we knew he was directing. And there was a lot of issue whether Spock would return because at the time, Leonard Nimoy didn't want to play Spock anymore. I Am Not Spock is the name of his first memoir.
Right.
So him appearing here and at the end of the film was a surprise to everyone. You look back at this opening credits, Leonard Nimoy's name is not listed in the acting credits.
No. By the way, the actress playing Uhura in Strange New Worlds is named Celia Rose Gooding.
I should have known that. Yeah.
Celia Rose. Okay.
I actually don't know her from anything else, but yeah, To be fair, most of the people in Strange New Worlds are not really known. I think
Right, they're young, up and coming actors.
Yeah, I think the
Anson
biggest
Mount
name-
probably was the biggest. Oh, and
Yeah.
Rebecca Romaine.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Oh, Rebecca
Carol Kane-
Romaine's in that too.
Carol
Wow.
Kane as Pelia.
Oh, that's
Ooh.
right, Carol Kane. Yeah, from
Carol-
Scrooge and
Princess
Gotham.
Bride,
She was in
and
Gotham.
yeah,
Yeah, she's been in everything. She was in Seinfeld, the greatest sitcom of all time. So yeah, it's happened. It's happened. She's been in a lot of things. She's done so many things over the years. By the way, Anson Mount, I've known that guy for years. I mean, he's guest appeared on Smallville, my favorite TV show of all time. He's guest starred on Law and Order. I mean, the guy did 5 years of Hell on Wheels, one of the most criminally underrated TV series of all
he's
time.
also Black Bolt.
Yep, Well, no one wants to talk about that because
You know what? I don't get it. I personally like the show, but I really hated the guy. He's no other way. He's Ramsey Bolton. He will always be Ramsey Bolton to me. But he was the bad guy in that show.
Oh, okay.
But
Gotcha,
I like
gotcha.
him. I do like him.
I gotcha. Trying to think what else Anson was. Hell on Wheels. Oh, he was in the short-lived spin-off of Law and Order called Conviction. Lasted 1 season. He was like the lead actor on that, or one of the lead actors. Gosh, yeah. Anson Mount's done tons and I've seen a lot of his work over the, especially Hell on Wheels. He was freaking awesome in Hell on Wheels.
Let's see stuff I remember.
Yeah, have you seen Hell on Wheels, Chris? Have you seen that?
Oh, I have not. I believe he's also Britney Spears' father in Crossroads.
Oh,
no, not father.
Jeez.
Love interest.
Oh, it's the love interest?
Yeah, he's a love interest.
Yeah, I was gonna say, there's no way he could have played a father 25 years ago in that movie.
No,
There's
he
way.
was very young still. No, I was actually about to say,
He was a love interest?
That was his
the
father.
legendary Britney Spears movie Crossroads. He's in that.
I didn't even know he was in it, Case. Thanks for bringing that up, man.
Sex in the City, yeah, Smallville.
Yep.
Oh, right, he's in Sex in the City. My girlfriend keeps mentioning that. I haven't seen the show, but my girlfriend keeps mentioning, oh yeah, he's in that.
Goodness gracious. Let's see here.
Balls of Fire.
Oh wow, he directed Cook County. I didn't know that.
Oh, really? Let's see. Philip Miller says, I think the actor Leonard Nimoy was kind of playing everyone to possibly get more political power to be the director of this film. And then he says, I think you have to do that in Hollywood sometimes.
He was in Lost too, looking at it.
Lost?
Oh, I love
Oh,
Lost.
that's right. Yeah. Jeez, he's been Anson Mount's done everything. He's been in everything. It's ridiculous. Great resume, by the way. I just want to say, Anson Mount, great resume. If you ever come on the podcast, love to talk to you about your work on Hell on Wheels, man, because that was a great Western.
Probably the best on-screen Pike we've ever had.
A lot of people have said that, by the way, over the last few years. Because was it Strange New Worlds is in what, season 3 or 4, 5?
2.
Season 2.
It's only in season 2. Jeez.
Yeah.
We finished season 2. Next year we get 3, and there more than likely is only going to be 5, but we'll see what happens.
No,
we'll see.
Okay,
but
it's very popular amongst the fandom.
But that's the thing, Ryan. It's only 2 seasons, so it's not that much to catch up on.
That's true. If I want to sit my keister down and catch up on Strange New World, because I do like Anson Mount a lot. I love the guy. I think he's a great actor. And I am a Trek fan to a degree. Like, I am a Trek fan, so. Trekkie, yeah. These women just holding their arms up like this. I'm just like,
this is absolutely perfect. My logic is uncertain when it comes to matters of my son. I love that. That is honest and pure.
Yeah, that's true. I'll give you that.
One of the most Vulcan sentences ever, probably.
But it's him saying, I love my son without saying, I love my son.
Yeah.
You know those memes like, tell me I love my son without telling me I love my son.
Well, by the way, Philip Miller goes on to say, I just can't believe the fact that Star Trek 3 was made 40 years ago. I feel old. Philip, how do you think Chris Ingle feels right now?
It's as old as me.
I mean, how do you think he feels?
I know.
All right. Just throwing that out there. By the way, it is Chris. Great line about Sarek there.
Yep.
Yeah, I was not born yet when this movie came out.
A lot of us weren't even born. I wasn't even a thought in my parents' mind until 3 years after this film came out. 87, for those of you wondering.
I love it. Oh, I choose the danger.
I choose the danger.
Oh, what a great time to ask. Are you sure? Great time to
ask. Hell of a time to ask.
Yeah.
I choose the danger, Mom.
I choose the danger.
Hell of a time.
Danger. I laugh in the face of danger.
Yep. And we talked about that earlier this year. That was a lot of fun.
Yes.
That was a lot of fun. And by the way, the actress who voiced young Nala has been making her rounds in the convention circuit recently. She just started doing conventions. Cool. Can't wait to meet her. Can't wait to have her sign my Lion King Blu-ray. I am so excited to meet her one time. Can't wait for that to happen. Hopefully she'll do more conventions on the East Coast, because normally she's doing stuff in California, on the West Coast, and some parts of the the Southwest. So definitely come over here, Nikita. Come over to the Northeast. We want to have you here. We want to get you some shows. Want to have you sign my Lion King Blu-ray, because Lion King is one of my all-time favorite movies.
I love the Lion.
By the way, Ryan, I'm watching this on the same streaming service as I was watching Indiana Jones, which is Sky Showtime for us.
Yes.
Kind of like Paramount Plus for you guys.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is, I remember with Indiana Jones, my movie stopped at an hour 45. Luckily, this movie only is an hour 45, so it won't stop.
Yeah, exactly. It will not. Let's see. By the way, Philip Miller goes on to say, "Oh my gosh, I was 3 years of age, but I watched this movie many times as an 8-year-old kid." That's awesome, Philip. That's awesome, man. Glad you watched it. Glad you enjoy it.
Yeah. Okay. So that was me with the Star Wars movies.
Mm-hmm. Star Wars.
You know, this is something else that's very interesting too. When you look at the idea of Vulcan mysticism and the fact that when you think of Vulcans, you think of logic, true information, everything is scientific and confirmed and mathematical. There are emotions, but they are withheld. They are contained. They are controlled. Here's what I'm saying. The actions that they're producing right now are so anti-Vulcan. This is the truth of what is behind a Vulcan, is that there are feelings, there are emotions, there are deep traditions they hold very dear. Yeah. They're just very stoic about it. This probably shows us the most emotion we would see in a Vulcan until Sarek in the episode of TNG we talked about, and the JJ verse.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, JJ verse for sure. But yeah, like they explain that that there is, okay, I'm sorry to bring it up again, but the motion picture, Ryan, in the motion picture at the beginning of the movie, Spock is trying to go through the Kulinar discipline, which purges Vulcans from all emotions. So that's something that Vulcans do at a young age. Before that, Vulcans are completely open to emotions, and they even explain that in a sense, Vulcans are have even stronger emotions than humans. They just have a way to suppress them. But then as Vulcans get old, really old, TNG old, by the time I think Sarek is like 200 years old, his mind starts to mess up and doesn't go too well, and he goes crazy. Actually, Picard goes crazy, but watch the episode.
Why does Spock have the Triforce on the back of his robe?
The what?
You haven't played The Legend of Zelda?
No.
That's why, I know.
Sorry, not a.
We're too young.
I'm going to send this man an NES. Just
no.
No, I think Case has enough on his plate with the 150 movies he needs to watch before he croaks, because I've given him like 6 more movies this year.
See, look, he's got the Triforce on his robes.
I still don't know what that means.
No, you also haven't played Legend of Zelda.
No, because I don't really care much for Zelda. I'd rather play Mario than Zelda.
I'm a Zelda guy.
I grew up on Mario, not Zelda.
Zelda was the first Nintendo.
Okay, Engel, you have a friend in the chat who understands your reference.
I like Philip. We need Philip on this show.
Yeah. He says, I know what you're saying, Chris. Philip Miller says that. Jeez. Triforce. Whatever the heck that means.
Is that like X-Force?
Is it a good thing or a bad thing that he has that on the back of his robes?
Just noticed it. Little things you notice. I never noticed before.
By the way, and Ryan has not read the book Ender's Game. No, I have not. There's a million books I need to read before I croak, okay? Ender's Game. Listen to me. Ender's Game is the very tip of the iceberg, my friend. That's the tip of the iceberg.
So this is an interesting thing. The look she just gave, where she looks down,
mm-hmm.
The theory was that it's not a deleted scene, but a deleted idea, that in order to calm because he was starting the Pon farr as that
Right.
aging was rapid. It
Right.
was believed that she slept with him. So that was the idea that she had going into this, which is why her look, she looks down, she won't look at him. It's a little embarrassing of what she did to
Wow.
try to help him.
Wow.
But again, that aspect of it was
Was
erased. It never basically never happened.
Never materialized.
Yeah.
Never saw the light of day.
Never saw the right.
Never saw the sun shining so bright.
Oh, by the way, Nemesis, also 2027, 25-year anniversary.
I'm down
That
for
is it.
that.
That is if you like Nemesis. And
No, I do. I'm down for Nemesis. That one I'm
So-
down for.
Keep
Second
walking,
best-
filthy human.
Second best next generation movie.
Yep.
What? No.
I like Nemesis personally.
You know what? I'm the crazy one in this world that likes Insurrection.
Yes, you are the crazy one in this
yeah.
world that likes Insurrection.
I mean, there are parts of it that I like, but overall, it's a very boring film.
In my opinion, Insurrection is the worst one.
Insurrection's not that good. Like, it has a few good moments with
It's an insult to Star Trek, I feel.
It kind of is, but at the same time, like the whole drinking the water of immortality juice thing it's an interesting idea. It's just the execution wasn't the best. And F. Murray Abraham, who's like a freaking Oscar winner, he got kind of like the short end of the straw because he didn't have much to do.
F. Murray Abraham is so terrible in that movie.
He's a great actor. He's just given a bad
Yeah,
script.
he's terrible in that movie.
Insurrection. Blah.
Exactly.
Says Philip Miller in the chat case.
Right there. Truths
see that?
spoken.
You see that?
But that movie also definitively explained to me that Starfleet admirals are idiots.
Or Starfleet admirals.
They're dicks. Yeah, no, that's true.
Because wasn't F. Murray Abraham like using that guy for his own personal means?
Yes.
Yeah. It was
Well,
so
actually,
stupid.
I think there was a general mutual nature. I think there was. Revenge was on their mind. The Sona. Revenge was on their mind, but I think they genuinely were going to work with the Federation. He just wanted revenge more than the Federation didn't want to overstep. They were taking their time doing what they wanted to do. And the adventure continues.
The score is beautiful, though.
As our good friend Brian pointed out earlier, that the music is on point during the course of this
so
film, don't you
good.
think?
Oh, no, not Star Trek V, The Final Frontier. That's what my streaming service was recommending to me. Star Trek V. No.
Not-
It's
wait a minute,
recommending
wait a minute.
Star Trek 4 for
Instead
me.
of recommending Star Trek 4,
Star
which
Trek
is the
4
voyage
would be the
home,
next
bro.
one. For fuck's sake.
And the adventure continues. Da, 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 da,
No,
da.
that's great.
So basically, that movie ends with, this isn't even though the trailer makes it out to be the last movie in the franchise, like, no, there's going to be a lot more because it says at the very end and the adventure continues. And Spock is back, so you can't just leave it at that. It kind of ends on somewhat of a cliffhanger.
This is part of such a great trilogy. There were a lot of good trilogies in the 80s.
Wait a minute, Star Trek is a trilogy? Because I don't
Well,
remember.
this
I
2,
only-
3, and 4
I was
are
gonna
meant
say,
as a
A lot of
trilogy.
people consider 2, 3, and 4 as a trilogy. Yeah.
Right. The first one never happened, but 2, 3, and 4 are fine.
No, no, but that's exactly what people call 2, 3, and 4 a trilogy because everyone ignores motion picture.
Yeah, no one cares. No one cares.
It's terrible.
No one really
And
cares.
it's also weird that you can watch Star Trek II: The Wrath of Khan without having seen the motion picture and completely follow everything that's happening.
Well, yeah, that's fair. By the way, Phil Miller goes on to say, hey, James Horner's incredible music is now playing. Yes. And by the way, Spock has the complete Triforce. He can do anything.
See, yes.
He has the Triforce. Genesis. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, we are officially at the end credit sequence of what is known as Star Trek III, The Search for Spock. Wait a minute. Search for
They found him.
Spock. Wait a minute. No, I know Jerry will tell you that the Wrath of Khan is the better picture, but you doofus. Anyway, that's the scene from the greatest sitcom known as Seinfeld. So, with that being said, Case, final thoughts on Star Trek III, The Search for Spock, and on a scale of 1 to 10, what are you going to give this movie?
I like this movie. It's got a couple of stupid things in it, but overall, I like it. I think there's enough in there for me to enjoy. And overall, I think I give it a 7 out of 10.
All right, good stuff. Good stuff. By the way, Phil Miller says, "Great watch, guys. The Search for More Money."
Where is my Spaceball sequel?
We've waited how long now? 38 years for 37 years for that? Come on. Phil
There
Miller
is a sequel. It's a series. It's an animated series.
Right. Phil Miller says he gives Star Trek 3 The Search for Spock an 8 out of 10 for this one. Okay. Fair enough, my friend. Fair enough. Thank you for saying. And then he says Spaceballs 2 The Search for More Money. It is coming. Get out of here. I'll believe it when I actually see it, Philip. Don't tease me with false hopes. Anyway, Trexpert. Chris Ingle, I'm curious. I'm very, very curious. First time here in the studio for Movie Watch Along. Thank you for being with us, number one. Number two, what are your final thoughts on this movie? And on a scale of 1 to 10, what are you going to give this one?
If I put the trilogy together, and I'm not all together, I'm just kind of looking at the natural progression of story.
Right.
I feel this is the weaker, but that doesn't make it bad. It has some flaws that for me as a fan is visibly noticeable. I'm not a big fan of Krug. I don't think he's an effective villain. I think he's just there for mustache twirling. I really do. That being said, I really love the dedication by Kirk, the pain that you see that he feels about the loss of his son. There are a lot of things that play out later. The music is beautiful. The artistry is amazing. And again, the practical effects of destroying the Enterprise, as sad as that is, are just fabulous. So, combine technical and my little gripes, I give it a barely a B-. So I would say like out
of 10, Ingle.
Numbers.
Everything's in letters to me. I'm not a math guy.
Yeah, we'll just go with the numbers. Scale 1 to 10. What are you going to give it?
I'm not a math teacher. Anyway, no, I would say we'll go 7.9 out of 10. How about that?
Rounds up to an 8. Whatever. 7.9 is acceptable here in this studio, so it's fine. Thank you for sharing that with us, Chris. Do appreciate you, man. You're great. And thank you for your nitpickiness. When it comes to certain elements of these films, good Lord. Because you're the Trexpert. That's why we come to you. So for me, look, I need to sit down and rewatch Star Trek 6 Undiscovered Country, because for now, after I've watched these movies thus far, and going back and doing a rewatch of a few of them, just particularly the TOS movie ones, for me, I still like this movie. I mean, yeah, you can say Krug is a wasted villain. It's Chris Lloyd just twirling his Klingon-ish mustache thing. And his homeboy, John Larroquette's bringing up the rear. But you know what? There's some good actors. And Chris Lloyd is one of the greatest of all time. And him as a Klingon, I'm fine with it. It doesn't really bother me that much. So, I mean, could his motivations and his character have a bigger arc? Yeah, sure. But in an hour, 45 minutes, there's only so much you can do, right? So
make a longer movie.
You could have, but Leonard Nimoy was directing this, and he's like, "Nah, we're gonna cut this one down. We want to trim the fat. Don't want to make it we don't want to make it like a 3-6-hour movie like the motion picture was." So,
motion picture is only 2 hours.
No, it's more like 6 hours if you really look at it. But anyway, that wasn't his fault. That was somebody else's. So, for this movie's sake, Star Trek 2: The Search for Spock, I like this movie. I still give it a strong 8 out of 10. I still enjoy it. Good character moments. I like the costumes. I like the ship design. I like the practical effects that are used throughout the course of this movie. The replacement between Kirstie Alley and Robin Curtis, hey, tomato. Gotta take it for what it is. There were other things going on at the time when these films were being made. So taking all that stuff out of the equation, I still like this movie. To me, this is my favorite of those first 6 TOS movies. This one from now.
That is a hot take.
It is a hot take that's going to cover a lot of controversy in the comments below, but it is my favorite of the first 6 so far. I'm going to go back and rewatch Undiscovered Country here soon and see if that's for me, if that comes out like the better one of the two. But for me, right now, 8 out of 10, like this movie. I enjoy it for what it is. And it's an hour 45 minutes, so I don't feel like I'm sitting there for 6 hours like I almost did with the motion picture in the first 2 minutes.
It moves quick for its. It does move very quick.
It does move very quick. I'll give you that. It also moves very quick. I'll give you that. So those are my thoughts on this movie. We hope you, the person who's maybe watching or listening to this, have enjoyed this very interesting, nitpicky episode of Movie Watch Along featuring Star Trek 3: The Search for Spock. Our next one will be on Friday the 23rd, if I'm not mistaken. Going to be celebrating another 40th anniversary, which in this case is going to be The Karate Kid. Yeah, The Karate Kid, one of the greatest coming-of-age stories of all time, one of the greatest soundtracks of all time, and also its spring goes right into the greatness that is Cobra Kai, one of the greatest TV series of all time. So lots to celebrate in the next couple weeks here. But I do want to thank everyone for being here. Thanks to both Case and Chris for being our panelists on this episode. This was Goodness gracious, this was a lot of fun. A lot of interesting references were made to other properties and different media personalities out there too. So, Case, if someone wants to know more about you and some of the things that you're doing on your wonderful channel, and maybe some of the other things you got planned for the near future, where can they find you?
I will say I'm proud of us keeping most of the discussion on Star Trek. We have tendencies to do bigger tangents. Than that. Yeah. So
yeah, go off the rails, right?
We tend to do that sometimes. But anyway, because of the fact that this guy right here, Ryan Permison, has these hot takes where he doesn't like certain movies, I decided to do a watch along of my own on my channel next week, next Sunday. Guardians of the Galaxy turns 10 this year. I adore that movie. Other people adore that movie. Ryan is weird, let's be fair. So I'm doing the watch along next week on my own channel at 3 p.m. on a Sunday, which was the original time that Ryan did the watch-alongs over here. So if you're interested to watch Guardians of the Galaxy with us, I actually have a panel of people that you see on this channel, which are so far Jen and Austin, who are going to join me for that. So tune in for the Guardians of the Galaxy 10th anniversary watch-along next week on my channel, which is called The Dutch Star Wars Guy, down there in that corner. That's my YouTube channel where most of the time I talk about Star Wars, not Star Trek. If you're interested in that, sometimes I do other things as well. Maybe I need to find a moment to talk about Star Trek a little bit on my channel, if I have the time for that. But for the moment, no, it's still Star Wars and Guardians of the Galaxy, of course. You can follow me on social media, on Letterboxd, Case247, Case spelled this way, on Twitter, it's Dutch SW Guy, and I think that's about it. Thank you for having me, Ryan, and I'll see you soon for something else, probably.
Absolutely. It's going to be a lot of fun, good sir, and thank you so much for being with us. We greatly appreciate it. Chris Ingle, ladies and gentlemen, first time here in the Movie Watch Along Studios. Chris, we hope we didn't scare you off. We hope you're able to come back and join us again for one of these wonderful things called Movie Watch Along later on this year of 2024. However, if someone wants to know more about you in the meantime, where can they follow you on social media, Chris?
I myself and my partner Brennan the Mystical Mar, we have a podcast together called Random Trek, where every week we use a randomizer to decide what episode of Star Trek we're going to review. And so that's how we do that. And then once a month, we also have movie night, where we take a look at movies that are Star Trek adjacent. They're related to Star Trek in one form or another. Ryan was on our last one looking at The Last Starfighter. So you could check that out on Page Turners They Were Not, which is on Spotify, other audio media. But you can also find certain episodes, not all of them. You can find them on YouTube as well. Brennan also heavily takes a look at a lot of Star Wars as well. So we love all the stars. Me personally, you can find me once in a while when I'm not being a teacher, which is hardly ever anymore. But you can find me on Twitch, C Ingle 1984, where actually, surprisingly, I don't do anything Star Trek related. I play Final Fantasy video games. I love Final Fantasy. So I do a lot of that. You can also find me on Twitter. I will never truly call it X. Also, C Ingle 1984.
Well, thank you, sir, for being here. Do greatly appreciate it. Live long and prosper. I'm going to catch you on the flip side, man. We got to get you on more of these things. It's going to be a lot of fun. You're a good analyst, as it were, and you know your stuff. So look forward to having you here pretty soon, Chris, because you're awesome. You're pretty awesome yourself. My name is Ryan of Anti-Quote Channel. Feel free to follow me and the insanity that ensues on Twitter and Instagram, Twitter and Instagram at RyanRPM5. Feel free to follow me there. Also, follow us across all forms of social media at Anti-Quote Channel. All the links to where you can follow myself and our panelists who are featured in this episode of Movie Watch Along are located in the description below. Also, we are reaching our goal of 5,000 subscribers. Once we do, we're going to do a great big live stream celebration that's going to include returning favorites. We're going to have special guests and special giveaways that you, our incredible listeners / subscribers, are going to be eligible to win. So please tune in for that. We got merch, we got shirts, we got hats, we got hoodies, we got stickers, stationery, all kinds of great things. Links are in our social media bios. Also want to give a quick shout out to our good friends, the Big Sci-Fi Podcast. Adina Mignona is a best-selling writer. She's got the Robot Galaxy series. Books 1 through 4 are available now on Amazon and Barnes & Noble, and you can buy directly from the author at adinamignona.com. But if you're into something more like hard sci-fi meets AI intrigue, you can check out her book, Lunar Logic. Once again, that's written by our good friend Adina Mignona of the Big Sci-Fi Podcast. You can find it on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Apple Books. Buy directly from the author. Support indie authors, support your local authors as well. So lots of great things coming your way very soon. Once again, this has been a great time celebrating the 40th anniversary of Star Trek III, The Search for Spock. Happy anniversary, and congratulations to the entire cast and crew, I should say, rather, of Star Trek III, The Search for Spock. In the meantime, like, comment, share, subscribe, ring that bell to be notified of when the videos go up or they go live. And remember, live long and, hold on a second, live long and prosper.
All that they've loved, all that they've fought for, all that they've stood for, will now be put to the test. Star Trek III, The Search for Spock.
The word, sir? The word is no. I am therefore going anyway.
You do this, you'll never sit in the captain's chair again.
Engage auto systems. Clear all moorings.
Cleared, sir. 1/4 impulse power.
Someone is stealing the Enterprise.
Warp speed.
Klingon bird appraiser. She's arming torpedoes.
Shields up.
The shield's non-responsive.
We're a sitting duck.
Join us on this, the final voyage of the Starship Enterprise. Star Trek III, The Search for Spock. The adventure continues.